Hello everyone, Fanta here, you're watching FANTAVISION, and today I am discussing all we know now about the Stadia after the Stadia Connect or conference or whatever you want to call it. They've given some more information, thankfully. Unthankfully, the prices are a little bit steep in my opinion. I think $130 for the Founders Edition. I mean, it sounds about right. It's not super expensive, but at the same time, the controller is like $70, and I know for some reason Nintendo thought it was okay to charge that much for a controller. I still think that's just a tad bit ridiculous. I understand there's some sort of Wi-Fi technology built into the controller, so it's a seamless, lag-free experience. But I don't know, guys. $130 startup, and then you're forced into a $10 a month Stadia Pro membership, I guess is what they're going to be calling it. So you have to spend $130 and then $10 a month. It does come with 3 months of the Pro program, but it's just another service that is costing you monthly. And the thing is that this is not the Netflix of games like we thought it was going to be. It's not. It's basically Xbox Live Gold Pass. That's it. That's basically what it is. You get a trickle of games, and that's it. I mean, that's what's included with the Pro. You get to use the service at up to 4K. So let's just break it down real quick. So Stadia Pro, resolution up to 4K, and they have confirmed that 65 hours of 4K streaming is 1 terabyte, and we'll get back to that because that is a problem. 60 frames per second frame rate, 5.1 surround sound. Buy games whenever you want. I don't understand how that's a point. I mean, that's on both. Obviously, you can buy games whenever you want. There's not going to be some membership where they're stopping you from buying games. That's just a stupid bullet point. I really don't understand that. I know it's a small nitpick, but I think it's not even a small nitpick. That's just stupid. If you're going to be doing marketing, buy games whenever you want. No shit. I mean, that doesn't... For some reason, that one bullet point on both of the Pro and the base really bother me. Because it's just a stupid... You can use the store. No way. Thanks. I'm glad I'm allowed to give you money. Thank you for your permission. So glad you put that in there. Okay. Additional free games released regularly. Yes, starting with the Destiny 2 collection. Honestly, not the best game to start with in my opinion. I understand. It is pretty cool that they're doing this now with Destiny 2. They're going to make it free to play. They're going to have cross-saving, so I guess it's going to be across all systems. You're going to be able to play your characters. I don't know why they didn't have that to begin with, but it's awesome that they're going to have that. I feel bad for all the people that spent $60 day one. Ouch, you know? I feel like that's just what happens nowadays. You just get burned. If you buy in too quickly and support the games that you want and you don't have the patience, you're gonna get burned nowadays. That just seems like how it's gonna be. So it's a free-to-play game now. That's cool. I don't think that's what you want your launch title to be. I don't think Destiny 2 was some critical darling, fan favorite. Everybody loved it. That's not what that game is. So it's just really puzzling to me that that's the game they chose. I understand they wanted to choose an online multiplayer experience so people could kind of get a campaign and multiplayer all in one. But I don't know. It's an interesting choice, and I kind of understand it, but I also don't at the same time because it's like, what, a year-old title now? And then Stadia Pro exclusive discounts on select game purchases. So you get probably 10% off, 20% off of game purchases. Now, they haven't said the prices of games on the Stadia yet. And that's another thing. Like I said, this is not the Netflix of games. This is just Game Pass. You get a slow trickle, additional free games released regularly. So you're going to get a trickle of games coming into the Stadia. There's probably going to be a lot of indie games, a lot of older games, games that are obviously not $60 titles. I don't think we're going to see a whole lot of brand new titles come as a free game for the Stadia. If they prove me wrong and they're coming out with a free $60 game every month, maybe that $10 a month isn't that bad. Maybe this service will actually have some legs. But I don't think so. I think it's going to stick to the PlayStation Plus, Xbox Live Gold model. They're just going to be throw-in games, you know? And they're not bad games. I mean, I like a lot of games that are on the Xbox Live Gold and PlayStation Plus thing, but I don't think it's worth spending another monthly payment. I don't think it's worth having another controller and console thing to worry about. I don't know. It's got a lot of different questions. I have a lot of questions about it, and we'll get to that. Stadia base, which is coming up next year, resolution up to 1080p, 60 frames per second. Sound is stereo. That part was interesting. They actually lower your sound quality, your maximum sound quality if you're in the free one. I don't think I've ever seen that before, that they're lowering the maximum sound quality. That's interesting to me. I don't know if it is to you. Buy games whenever you want. Yes, they're allowing you to do that. Thank you, Google. And additional free games released regularly. Obviously, no. Stadia Pro exclusive discounts on select game purchases, no. They kind of have to put those things on the other side. When it's got Stadia Pro in the damn name, you obviously know that it's not going to come with it, but I guess they just have to do it for stupid people that are like, well, does the free edition come with the Pro features? No, obviously. Should be obvious, but you gotta lay it out for people nowadays. It's kind of sad. There we go. That's the pricing. And the thing is that they're saying that there's up to like 30 megabytes it was. I don't remember the exact how much it said. It's kind of cool on here though, because it gives you a test your connection button. So it says 35 megabits per second download speed is enough for 4K. That's kind of amazing to me, honestly. I mean, that's not very good internet. 35 megabits per second. So the fact that it can run 4K on such a poor connection, that's great. However, let's go back to that 1 terabyte after 65 hours of 4K gameplay. You may be thinking to yourself, well, Fanta, we're not all going to be playing on 4K. And I understand that. But people like me, and there are definitely people still out there, Spawnwave was talking about it in Dreamcast's Dreamwave, I don't know what he's going to call his little mini podcast thing, which I may be a part of in the future, so that'd be cool. Look out for that. So he was talking about how he also has a 1 terabyte data cap, and I do as well. And the thing is it's like a ration. You have that 1 terabyte data cap. Now, unless Stadia is your only thing and you're the only person in the house and you have that 1 terabyte cap, you're fine. Unless you play a ton of games, I would just play 1080p. You're probably going to be more than fine. However, if you're like me and you have a roommate, or you're like me and you have other consoles or a PC, those games require ridiculous updates. I mean, Red Dead had like 30 gigabyte updates. Whenever you buy a new game, there's a huge shit ton of updates. There's so much rationing going on in this household. You have to think about every single thing you do. Whenever I upload a video, I am using some of my bandwidth for the month. And back when it was only 300 gigabytes, it was only 300 gigabytes back when I first started uploading a lot. And I was running into issues and I was having to pay more per month just to keep up my streaming schedule, just to keep up, because streaming also uses bandwidth. Obviously, it's a streaming console. So between Twitch, uploading to YouTube, watching Netflix, game updates, all of that's already using all my data. Another device like Google Stadia in this house would wreak havoc upon our rations. It would be insane. So in this household, we would be unable to get a Stadia because of the current internet infrastructure that we're stuck with. Because like I've said in previous videos, there is no competition with ISPs. Either you're in a section with Comcast or you're in a section with Cox. That's all that's here. You can go to some places where they have CenturyLink, but most places, like right here, CenturyLink is like 1 megabit per second. Completely unusable. Why do they even offer it? I don't understand how our infrastructure is this bad. It's so just terrible. There are so many other countries that have a better internet infrastructure, and I think it's just because of greed and these local region monopolies. And I keep talking about it because I have to. Whenever Stadia is brought up, I have to come here and say it's just not possible right now for a system like this. If Google wants to go through all of America and set up a Google fiber connection, please do it. Please, for the love of God, do it. But it was even difficult for them because there were so many different laws and just government bullshit that was stopping them from spreading their internet across everywhere. There's all these non-competition laws that local governments have. They all have deals with these giant corporations. Unfortunately, way back when they were laying the lines, those were the agreements they made. So we're screwed over because the government didn't think of the future. Thanks, assholes. So here we are in an age with huge updates and everything is streaming, everything is digital, and we're stuck with data caps. And I understand, like I said, not all of you have to deal with that. If you don't have to deal with the data cap, do I feel that the Google Stadia is worth it? I'm still gonna say no, because you have to deal with outages. You have to worry about servers. You have to worry about, oh, let me check to see if the Google servers are up, to see if I can play my game. You can say that about modern consoles nowadays, but I can still play my single player games offline. I can still play lots of games single player offline. I don't have to deal with an always online connection. And with Google Stadia, you're basically running into the Diablo 3 situation. How long is it going to be unstable? How long is the period where it's going to be just a pain in the ass to use it? Remember, a lot of these only online games all have had hiccups. They've all had serious issues that have made the experience awful. And there's definitely going to be a growing pain period for a lot of these founder people. And when the general market can hit with the free version, I feel like they're going to get hit with a second one. There's going to be 2 periods of hiccups with this system. And unless Google's just amazing, and I just don't see that happen. I've never heard of a company just launching an always online game and just having it work perfectly. It seems to be a rare thing. Even Blizzard doesn't know how the hell to do it with World of Warcraft. I remember when I used to play almost every expansion, when there'd be a queue, there'd be something wrong, there'd be lag, there'd be some issue with the game because it was an always online thing and they're getting hit with a wave of people on their servers and for some reason they don't expect it. So I just don't think, I mean, $130 and then another $10 a month for, like I said, kind of an Xbox Live Gold or PlayStation Plus drip feed of games. I don't know how regular the games are going to drop. We still don't know the prices of games. And when we don't know the prices of how they're going to sell games on there, remember, you don't own these games. This is my problem with digital games, is you don't own them. And we're seeing this with the Lego games on Steam. You can no longer buy lots of the different Lego games. The different licensed games have a lot of legalese issues. None of my physical copies are going anywhere. But they can stop you from re-downloading these games. They can say, well, we're not going to stream that game anymore. And when the game's streaming, they're only going to have so much bandwidth for so many games. They can't have this huge library of thousands and thousands of games. I just don't see that working. So I feel like they're going to discontinue games. They're going to update them in their licenses. They're going to do lots of the same things that the Steam store already goes through. But the thing is how are they going to continue to stream that game? So Steam just takes it off the store, but you can keep re-downloading it after you've owned it. It's in your library. You basically own it. It's a lot more secure in my mind on Steam. You know you own whatever's there, even if they take it off the store. And I feel like the licensees understand that. But I don't know how that's going to work with streaming. If you buy a game on your Google Stadia and the license holders say, we don't want that being streamed anymore, well, that's it. It's online only. It's always only going to be online. So I don't know. It's just one step further in not owning a game. It's just, I mean, you've got physical, you own it 100%. They can't take it from you unless they come to your house with a gun. Then there is the digital, where usually there's no issue. Once you own it, but there can be issues, and they have happened. I know it was free, but remember the Silent Hills, whatever it was called. Anyway, they stopped you from being able to re-download that game. So I know that was a free trial demo thing, but that just kind of shows you what they can do. And like I said, they've taken down licenses in the Steam store, but you still have ownership of that license. You still have license to play that game. Now, like I said, if Steam goes away, who the hell knows what's going to happen? How many people are going to lose hundreds of games like me? So you kind of own it, but it's still a bit of a gray area, because if Steam is gone, what the hell do we do? I don't think Valve is going anywhere. I'm just saying, If that happened, who knows what's going to happen with all of your digital purchases. And then there's streaming. Streaming, you don't own it. You just don't. One day they might decide, well, Google Stadia really isn't making the same profit that we needed. It's gone. OnLive is gone. Remember, OnLive existed and you could buy games on OnLive. Do you know what happened to all those people that owned those games? Those games went bye-bye. They do not own those games. Owning a streaming digital copy of a game, it's not really ownership at all. It just isn't. You don't, you have nothing. It's not even downloaded on your system. You have no ownership of that except for you can play it. You are basically paying for a temporary license to play that game. And that may not be a problem with a lot of people, but I like owning the things I'm buying, especially because we don't know the prices of these games. So what's the discount here? What am I saving by not getting a box, artwork, and a disc? What am I saving for this being a temporary thing? You know, what's my upside besides just being lazy and not getting up and putting a disc in? I really don't know, and that's my issue. So with the fact that, like I said, there's still data problems and they've confirmed that, there's still the issue of ownership that I still have with it, and then there's the fact that it's not even the Netflix of streaming games. If it was the Netflix of streaming games, it was $10 a month and you got access to a ton of games, maybe it would be something worth looking into. I feel like it would be something great if it didn't have that data issue. If our internet infrastructure if it wasn't how it is right now, it would be great if it was the Netflix of games. It would be a great secondary purchase to console or PC. There's just that issue of, like, the fourth thing, internet, stability. Stability issues are definitely a thing I'm worried about with the Stadia. Also, a new fun thing, there is, Dreamcast guy brought this up, a lot of dislikes, way more dislikes than you think there would be, about somebody just expressing their opinion about the Stadia. And I gotta get in on this. My hair is just a mess. I'm sorry. I took a nap. I gotta talk about this real quick. And in order to talk about this, I hope you love that ASMR of just awful noise and crinkling of tinfoil here. I gotta put on my tinfoil hat. It's conspiracy time. Here we go. So, that looks ridiculous. So, there's a conspiracy that Google, because they own YouTube, is sending bots to dislike videos that are talking bad about Stadia. And it'll be interesting to see what kind of feedback I get on this video, because I think I was pretty reasonable. I give both sides. I give every situation that people could be in. I talk about how it could be worth it. I think I was pretty fair with my assessment. I'm not saying it's a pile of junk. I'm just saying it does need improvement. I don't know. It'll be interesting. We'll see if this video gets disliked to hell. But Dreamcast guy's been seeing a trend of a lot of these negative Stadia videos out there getting disliked to hell. I mean, his is like, oh my God. I mean, he had so many dislikes. It's crazy. But it's funny, though, because dislikes still help the video. It's still viewer engagement, and viewer engagement drives the algorithm to have more people see your video. So I don't know why YouTube would work against itself. Maybe it's just rabid fanboys of the Stadia, even though the thing isn't even out yet. But fanboyism is just another radical form of something that people believe in. So radicals of everything are insane. So there you go. Who knows? There's my tinfoil hat theory. Do I buy into the theory? Is it myth busted? We'll just have to see with this video, honestly, because I think I was pretty fair, and I don't think it's Google bots. I don't think Google cares that much, honestly. I don't know. It's just funny to think about when they start getting into conspiracies and thinking about, oh, is it just Google working against us? I don't know, actually. Now that I think about it, there have been weird discrepancies with likes and dislikes in the past. With the Diablo situation, we saw a lot of dislikes get deleted. I don't know. I'm going to say it's plausible, like the Mythbusters thing. It's plausible. Plausible. All right, there we go. Thanks for watching. Let me know in the comments what you guys think of Google Stadia, if you're going to be buying it, if you think it's worth the money, if you have the internet for it, or if you think it's just not worth it spending $10 a month just for another streaming thing or another membership they have to worry about. Maybe you don't have a console and this will be your only thing. I don't know. We haven't even seen how friends work. We haven't seen how chat works. We haven't seen any of that. So it's still a lot of stuff up in the air. It'll be really interesting to see once it's completely all fleshed out. How much games are is another huge factor. If they're still $60, what a stupid system. That's dumb. Have a fantastic day. I think I want to start a conspiracy theory series. I don't know. I'll have to make a hat like this, just completely covered in tinfoil. Thoughts?